Everything in this system originates from a single central frequency, labeled here as pulsation. As we pull back, the full complexity of the artifact comes into view, a dense, interconnected network of nodes and loops. This document functions as an ontological map, a speculative geometric framework designed to locate a common thread between traditionally separate fields of study. The diagram proposes a single topological structure capable of accommodating quantum mechanics, biological emergence, and consciousness simultaneously. A specific thesis statement anchors the lower right loop. Licht ist Zeit ist Myzel. Translated as light is time is mycelium, the claim is that these are isomorphic expressions, structurally identical outputs of the same underlying engine. To understand how the author justifies this unification, we must reverse engineer the diagram's mechanical logic, starting from the central engine and tracing the energy outward. The system's origin point is a state of null zeitlos, a timeless void where energy enters through the central pulsation. This pulse provides the dynamic momentum required to move through the rest of the geometry. Following the flow into the right-hand loop, the energy reaches a specific geometric threshold labeled as a 720 degrees spinor. The spinor is a concept appropriated from quantum mechanics to describe a unique rotational property. In standard physics, a 720-degree spinor requires 2 complete rotations to return to its original orientation, much like a twisted ribbon that only untangles after passing through itself twice. Inside this loop, we find the text umgekehrte Polarisierung, or reversed polarization. The framework uses this 720-degree topology to model reality as a self-intersecting system that reverses its own state with every turn. This creates a foundational engine defined by a continuously twisting dual rotation cycle. Moving to the structural peaks of the infinity loops, we find nodes labeled Seele Soliton and Biology Soliton, soul and biology. Here, the author introduces a second physical concept, the soliton. A soliton is a stable wave packet that maintains its shape and velocity while traveling, resisting the urge to flatten or disperse. While standard waves eventually dissipate into the background, solitons remain structurally intact over long distances. The map applies this physical property to consciousness, isolating the Geist soliton, the spirit or mind, at the bottom right. Consciousness is modeled here as a persistent, non-dispersive wave packet. Biological life is treated with the same structural logic, a self-sustaining pocket of stability within the energetic flow. These solitons ride atop the chaotic energy loop, preserving their geometric integrity against the turbulence of the spinor engine. Within this framework, mind and biological life manifest as rare geometric wave stabilities. If mind and life represent the stable core of the system, physical, tangible matter occupies a very different role. On the outer boundaries of the left loop, the diagram shows shattered, rocky debris. The text labels this Zerfalls product materia, translated as decay product matter. The model asserts that physical matter is merely transient exhaust, a byproduct shed off the primary energy loop. Along the bottom edge, rainbow waveforms interact with this debris, labeled resonance frequency materia. These resonance frequencies govern the specific rate and type of matter generated as the system decays. Rigid geometric forms are eroded by the central current, fracturing into the transient dust we perceive as the material world. In this hierarchy, matter is the fleeting exhaust of the system, while the invisible wave structures remain the foundational reality. At the extreme right edge of the diagram, we find the ultimate output of the system. This section attempts to bridge pure mathematical code with mechanical biology. At the top, a matrix of floating numbers is labeled Primzahlenschwärme, or prime number swarms. The organizational code governing the solitons is based strictly on the mathematics of prime numbers. This code flows downward into the biological realm, terminating in a blue cellular structure labeled Dualität Teilung. Duality division is represented here by the visual of cellular mitosis. The cell splits along precise lines, a physical manifestation of the prime number mathematics rippling down from the higher order structures. cellular division is presented not as a purely chemical reaction, but as the biological endpoint of mathematical splitting. Stepping back, we can now view the entire machine operating as a single unified system. This brings us back to the central axiom. Light is the fundamental pulsation, the energy driving the entire engine. Time is the 720-degree spinor topology that twists and cycles that energy. And mycelium is the resulting network of stable solitons and biological outputs that mirror those mathematical patterns. Fundamental light drives the 720-degree time topology, which in turn generates the stable solitons that network together like mycelium to create our reality. We inhabit a universe where matter is merely an echo of decay, and the foundational reality is a timeless mathematical loop sustained by persistent waves of consciousness.